What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. So if you guys did see the last episode, you guys already know that I got the CB7 at my house now, and this thing's driving and the engine is running super happy, so I'm super stoked on that. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys check out the last video. That one I did kind of go over a little bit more feedback as far as like driving the car around and stuff, and now I actually have the car at my house. So right now the progress is going to be a little bit slow for the next couple of weeks while I am waiting for my finances to go up and waiting for parts and stuff to come in. So there isn't really much going on. But today I'm actually going to be taking this valve cover over to get some bungs welded on. So super stoked about that, because now I'm finally going to be able to connect the catch can, and I will be one step closer to being able to take this thing to the dyno. So I just got this thing back, got the bungs welded on there. So right now these welds, they do have a couple marks in them, and the only reason for that is because I told them not even to worry about taking off the baffle. Because you usually want to take this baffle off so you can clean all of that built up oil on the inside. So that's pretty much what's showing through on those welds there. I just told them not even to worry about it. I have 3 valve covers. This is just a temporary one, and the idea I have right now is to use one of these valve covers as kind of like a scrap piece. So these are the factory like vent ports right here. So what I want to do is I kind of want to make this entire thing like one solid piece. So what I'm going to do is take the extra valve cover, cut chunks of it off right here, and then weld it on right there. So that is a little bit more time consuming, and I do kind of want to shave everything and make it look all nice and stuff. So that is a little bit more of a process, and right now I'm actually using the valve cover that I want to cut up. So basically the idea is to run this one temporarily so I can drive the car around and all that stuff while I take that one off, cut it up, and get the other one ready. So once that one's ready to go, that's gonna be the final one. But this one's gonna work just fine, so I'm not even concerned. So now that I have this valve cover, I can go ahead and get my catch can connected, and we are one step closer to being able to take this thing to the dyno. So other than that, the other thing that I want to try to fix today is the exhaust leak that I have because of those headers. But we'll see what we can do, just because, I mean, I've looked for so long and I can't find a gasket that will work on that. Then I'm going to head over to my parents' house and fix a couple leaks, just because I don't have a really good torque wrench here, and I just want to make sure that I torque the cam caps down correctly. So really quick, I'm going to go ahead and get the valve cover on and then get my catch can connected, and we'll go from there. So right now this hose is too long. I do need to shorten it up quite a bit. Just for right now, just to drive it over to my parents' house, I'm just gonna leave it like this. And over there I have the tools to be able to cut this thing, so I will just be able to cut it shorter. Alright, and there you go. Catch can is all connected. I really wish this stuff did look better, but I mean, I am gonna fix it. I am gonna shorten up that hose right there, and I will paint this valve cover. But there you go, that is connected. Now we won't be making a huge mess of oil stains on the top of the hood, and yeah, we can actually start to kind of like measure how much blow by is going by. Alright guys, so I'm here at my parents' house now, and I have the head apart right now, and the reason for that is because I did have some issues with the leak, basically like a leak coming from like the distributor area down here, and on this side underneath the cam there was a little bit of oil leaking, and when I went through my old video, I realized that I did not put any RTV on these like cam cap seals. So I do need to put some RTV right here, and then I need to put some RTV over here. So I had to take everything apart really quick right here on the street, and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put some Honda Bond on there, get everything back together, and from there I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this exhaust leak. I did go and get some copper RTV, so I am gonna make myself like one of those little gaskets and then just put some RTV on both sides, and hopefully that'll fix the exhaust leak. And from there, hopefully this thing is ready to hit the dyno. So yeah, I'm just gonna get everything back together. We'll go from there. All right guys, getting back to you with another update here. So I just went through, got everything back on. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm just gonna go through, take it for a test drive. I honestly hate the way this thing looks right now. This thing looks so old and beat up, but yeah, I'm gonna get this thing painted probably tomorrow as soon as I get off work. I did go through and then kind of like put some copper RTV on that gasket right down there, so hopefully that fixes the exhaust leak. On my way home, we'll see. So I mean, at this point I'm just gonna go for a quick test drive, cruise it around and stuff, go back home, and if I do get into anything else today with the car, I'll pick up the camera, but other than that I'll get back to you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so I am back at my house right now, and really quick, I just went ahead and disconnected this AN hose right here, and then I removed this hose end because this is going to be the side that I'm going to cut. So with one hose end off and the hose end free, I basically just connected that side, kind of lined it up exactly like where I wanted, and then measured it up. So now that I have that measurement, I just kind of put some masking tape on it, and now we're going to go ahead and cut it. Alright, and here's the hose right here. So this is going to be the end that I'm going to cut, and I just put the masking tape. I'm going to be cutting this side of the masking tape. So right now I am just starting off slightly longer, probably like an 1/8 inch longer, and yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. I'm going to cut it, measure it up to the fitting right there, which is why I left it right there, just to kind of make sure it's all fitting up well. And the way I'm going to cut it is using this with the little cutoff wheel, and I have used those like hose cutters before. I really didn't like the way those cut, just because it did almost kind of leave an angle to it, and when you are doing hose ends you want to make sure that you cut it as straight as possible. So yeah, so I mean, this has been the most effective for me, so I mean, do it how you want to. But when you do it with this, you do have to clean the inside of the hose out, because it does leave a lot of like rubber dust in there, so you do need to be careful with that. Alright, so we just cut about 2 inches off this thing, and yeah, right off the gate you can kind of see that it leaves this like dust behind, if you can see that on my finger. So it's kind of like a mix of like the nylon and like the rubber. So usually you want to use electrical tape for this, but I don't really have any laying around, so I have this. And the reason why you want to tape it is because it kind of keeps the nylon braid from fraying, so it does kind of leave it with a more nice finish, and it is easy to put into that hose end. Because I want to tell you, the hardest part about making these AN hoses is getting the hose end onto this, like getting that sleeve onto the hose. That is the hardest part. So yeah, we'll get to that and watch me struggle. I don't think you guys caught that on the camera, but as soon as I sprayed the brake cleaner in here for the first time, there's a lot of black material coming out of here. So yeah, you definitely want to clean this if you do use the cutoff wheel. Alright, so now moving on to the hardest step, which is getting the sleeve, getting this end onto the hose. Or getting the hose inside this, I guess. And to make this job easier, I would definitely recommend getting these like aluminum vice clamp things. definitely help you out. But yeah, whenever you're getting this in there, you just kind of want to squeeze all the edges kind of like initially, and on the end of this hose or this sleeve here, there's a reverse thread, so you actually want to push down and you want to turn left. Alright, and I just got this tightened down, so you can kind of see, if you can see in there, you can see that rubber hose end kind of butting up against the edge of it, and that's what we're looking for there. Now I could get the actual hose end and get that tightened down into this right here, because there's threads right there. Alright, and then whenever I'm putting on the actual hose ends, so whenever I'm screwing down the hose end onto the sleeve, I actually like to throw some oil on this part right here, just so it can slide in nice and smooth, you know. It can be nice and lubricated to go into that hose, you know, because I mean at this point basically what you're doing, you're screwing against this sleeve and this barb right here is actually going into the hose. And just so you guys know, it is still hot as hell. Just doing this, I'm dripping sweat right now. But yeah, anyway, we got the hose end done, and now time to install it on the car, see how it looks. Alright guys, so here it is. I'm super hyped. My catch can is attached, and on my way home I didn't really hear any sort of backfires going on, so I think for now that exhaust leak is taken care of. I really want to kind of get my new header all taken care of and everything, try to get that installed as soon as possible, but with what's going on, it is kind of taking some time to get that. So I don't know if the new header is going to make it on before I hit the dyno, but I just really want to get this thing to the dyno so I can know that driving it around is safe. Right now I know the valve cover is a huge eyesore in this engine bay. I'm super bummed on it, but I am going to be painting this thing. I'm gonna paint it tomorrow while the sun is out, just so I can set it out in the sun. It'll literally bake, and yeah, it'll set really quick. I am going to be painting this valve cover just wrinkle black while I do figure out everything with that polished valve cover, just because I do want to do a couple of modifications to that one just to kind of like shave it, you know. I think that's gonna be it for today. I'll get back to you guys tomorrow when I start painting that valve cover and stuff. Alright, getting back to you with an update here. So I have the valve cover right here just kind of brewing in some aircraft paint remover right here. So I'm just letting that thing soak for about like 40 minutes or so. Just kind of let that paint start to like flake off. Usually it should start to kind of like bubble up. You'll kind of see it. So I'm just waiting for that, and then I have the little brush right there, so just go through and then brush any of the little nooks and crannies that I need to, and then I'll just wash it all off with the hose and stuff. Alright guys, here you go. There's the valve cover with most of the paint stripped off, and I did already go ahead and mask it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying, and I'm just gonna spray it this wrinkle black just to kind of keep it simple. Alright guys, there you go. This thing is looking way better than it was before, because man, this thing was looking ugly. But yeah, hit the comments if you guys are liking the way this looks. I know plain black is just keeping it super simple, keeping it all OEM and everything, but again, this valve cover is going to be a temporary one just while I am running this version of the head. Once I do get my new head going, then I will have another version of the valve cover on there. So again, this is just temporary, but hit the comments, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I mean, at this point, basically all I have to do is just wait for everything to fully dry. Once it's dry, just get all the masking off, then I could get it on the car. Other than that, if you guys are going to be spraying some wrinkle paint or anything like that, I would recommend getting a heat gun. But there you go, there's the valve cover. I'll get back to you guys once I install that. Alright, and there you go. There's the valve cover all done. For now, I think I am just going to leave the Honda and the 16 valve black. And so far I did notice like a couple parts that did get kind of messed up. Right up front right here, you can kind of see that it didn't wrinkle so well. I don't really know why that is. I think maybe the coats were too light there or something, but I'm not really too sure. But yeah, I mean, other than that, this thing's looking way better than it was, because that thing was so boogly. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up here. Just getting that valve cover on, getting the catch can ready to go. So now the car is basically ready to hit the dyno at this point. That exhaust leak did get taken care of, and now the catch can is attached. So at this point, I'm gonna drive it around, and I'm hoping some of those leaks are taken care of. So far, everything is good. If all of those leaks are taken care of, then yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start hitting some places up so I can schedule a dyno session, and we're gonna get this thing tuned and ready to go. So I'm super stoked. Let me know what you guys think of that catch can and the valve cover. Other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys on the next one. Later.